Today's training will discuss how to enter comments into the Student Success Plan at eSchool through the Teacher Access Center. It's important to note that student success plans have to be entered from the office side of eSchoolPLUS and can't be entered through the Teacher Access Center. However, updates and progress can be, and this video will show you how to do that. So the first thing to do is to log into the Teacher Access Center like you normally would. You would select then the environment, and in this case, the sample student is in the test side, and we're going to open up the Teacher Access Center from there. Once that screen is open, you'll see your class lists. And for this particular student that we're going to be talking about today, they're in my language arts class, and their student success plan is on reading. So I'm going to open up my language arts class, and my class roster will appear. Now, there's only one student in my class roster. Obviously, in your class roster, there's many more. But the student that we're going to talk about today is Maggie Foxes, and she already has a student success plan which was developed on the office side. When I click on her name, it'll open up a screen, and you can see on the lower left-hand window, there's an icon that says Student Success Plan. So let's click on that. When we click on that, there are two titles for success plans and when the success plans were developed. So we'll click on one of them, which is Jolly Phonics, and it'll open up the detail of the success plan. So here you can see the plan date, which was November 27th. The plan title is Jolly Phonics, and it's important to note that I decided to call the plan title the name of the intervention because eSchoolPLUS Success Plans is a database, so I could search for all the students who have this intervention. So it's important that when we name the title, we want to consider if we're going to try to search for certain data sets based on information, that how we title or enter the information is going to be really important when we search for the data later on. Then I'm the plan manager, and then this area says sensitive, and it says no. What sensitive is if there's confidential information that we don't want other people other than one particular person seeing the information, then we could say sensitive yes, and specific information relative to that would only be shared with certain individuals that we give access to that information. But in this case, it's not relevant. The plan type is reading decoding, and the status is in progress. What that means is that the student is still getting response to intervention services and that the plan is not complete. If it was complete, there would be a completion date. You have a completion date either when specific goals are reached, and then you're going to develop new goals. If the student has closed the gap and no longer needs a response intervention plan, or if the student was made eligible for special education. Those are the typical reasons why we would have a completion date. Now, when we look down here, there are two interventions. The first intervention is right here, which is implemented by the reading specialist, and it's Jolly Phonics. And then there are some comments. So, for example, comment that the student has been receiving Jolly Phonics 20 minutes per day during the RTI block. And then the second comment is that the student is making progress based on Ames Web Plus progress monitoring, and the rate of improvement is consistent with the goal line. The second intervention here is classroom RTI extra guided reading, road to reading, and that's implemented by me, the classroom teacher. And the comments made are that the student's been participating in the extra guided reading and is motivated to continue to improve based on her effort. And then the second comment is that the student's reading fluency is trending at or above the goal line as measured by eSchoolPLUS progress monitoring for the past 6 weeks, and that the student is proud of the progress that she's made to date. If we scroll down a little further, we'll see objectives, goal objectives. So in this particular case, the student has one objective, which is that the student's reading fluency will trend at or above the goal line on Ames Web progress monitoring used every 2 weeks. So we're going to scroll back up and close this out. Now we'll look at the extra guided reading, and that will give you a little bit of information about the student's success plan details. In this case, it's extra guided reading. I'm the plan manager. Again, it's not sensitive. The plan type is that the student's working on reading fluency. Again, there's no completion date. And in this case, the student's getting extra guided reading 6-minute solutions. And the start date was in the future, which is December 28th, 2017. Now, when we want to look at interventions, we can also go up here under the Interventions tab on the upper right of the toolbar, and it'll say Student Success Plan Goals, and we'll click on that. And you could see that the student has one goal, which is reading decoding, and if the student had goals that were completed, you could check this box and see if the student had success plan goals that were already completed. In this case, there aren't any. And then if we go back to the intervention tab on the toolbar on the upper right and go to student success plan interventions and click on that, then we'll see the interventions. And this is where we can enter progress information. So right now, we're looking at RTI extra guided reading, road to reading, and I'm going to do a progress update. So you can have a range of dates. So for example, 12/4 through 12/8, and each day you can enter data, or it could be one static date. So I'm going to do the static date or one date. So I'm going to put 12/4, 2017 through 12/4, 2017. I'm going to refresh it. Then I'm going to go over here, and there's an eye icon and a paper and pencil. And it opens up a window where I could take notes. So right here is where the classroom teacher can enter notes into the student success planner comments, and it could be data, it could be observational notes, whatever is relevant or whatever the problem solving team or you decide you want to collect data on. And I'm just going to put in recent weeks, the students' trend line on reading fluency. I need some spelling fluency. On reading fluency is at or above their goal line. And it's as easy as that. The most important thing here then is to make sure you hit the save icon on the upper right, and that will save that note.